Today, promising findings in Phase 3 melanoma and lung cancer studies, an FDA approval sought in marginal zone lymphoma, a new drug application accepted in breast cancer, and an EMA application validated in bladder cancer. Welcome to Enclave News Network. I'm Gina Columbus. In melanoma, the combination of encorafenib and binimetinib improved progression-free survival by 7.6 months versus single-agent vemurafenib in patients with BRAF mutant disease, according to findings from the Phase 3 Columbus trial. Part 1 of the trial showed that the median PFS was 14.9 months with the combination versus 7.3 months with vemurafenib, leading to a 46% reduction in the risk of progression or death. Single-agent encorafenib had a median PFS of 9.6 months versus 14.9 months with the combination, which did not reach statistical significance. While Array BioPharma, the manufacturer of the two-drug regimen, did not release specifics on the adverse event profile of the combination, the company did say it was well tolerated. Array also said it plans to submit data from Part 1 of the study to the FDA and EMA in 2017. A full analysis of Part 2 of the trial will further explain findings for the comparison of the combination as well as encorafenib monotherapy. The Phase 3 ASCEND-4 trial showed that frontline treatment with ceritinib showed an improvement in progression-free survival compared with standard chemotherapy in patients with ALK-positive non-small cell lung cancer. The results showed that ceritinib also met key secondary endpoints, including objective response rate and duration of response. Adverse event data were similar to prior results reported for ceritinib. Novartis, the developer of ceritinib, plans to present the ASCEND-4 findings at an upcoming medical meeting. Additionally, the data will be submitted to various regulatory agencies within the next few months. The Phase 2 ASCEND-3 trial previously showed a 63.7% objective response rate with ceritinib in patients with ALK-positive non-small cell lung cancer who had prior chemotherapy. The median progression-free survival was 11.1 months. A supplemental new drug application has been submitted to the FDA for the use of ibrutinib as a treatment for patients with marginal zone lymphoma. The application is based on results of the Phase 2 PCYC 1121 study, which explored single-agent ibrutinib in patients with MZL who had received at least one prior therapy. The single-arm, open-label international PCYC 1121 study included 63 patients with splenic MZL, nodal MZL, or extranodal MZL. One of the treatments patients must have received was an anti-CD20 regimen. While findings will be presented at an upcoming scientific meeting, Janssen, which co-develops the BTK inhibitor with AbbVie, stated that the company is very encouraged by their results and that it marks an important step toward a potential new treatment option for patients with MZL. An earlier Phase 1 study showed that ibrutinib had cursory efficacy in patients with MZL in which one had a partial response, one had stable disease, one had progressive disease, and one was not evaluable. In HER2-positive breast cancer, the FDA accepted a new drug application for neratinib as an extended adjuvant therapy following prior treatment with post-operative trastuzumab. The NDA was based on the new statistical analysis of the Phase 3 EXTENT study. While this filing was originally anticipated in the first quarter of 2016, the submission was delayed following meetings with the FDA, which requested a new statistical analysis of data from EXTENT. The updated analysis censored for patients who missed 2 or more scheduled disease assessments prior to recurrence or death. In the new statistical model, the 2-year invasive DFS rates were 94.2% and 91.9% with neratinib and placebo, respectively, leading to a 34% reduction in the risk of disease recurrence or death. As part of the NDA, data were also submitted from a Phase 2 study looking at diarrhea prophylaxis and loperamide. In urothelial carcinoma, the European Medicines Agency has validated a Type 2 variation application for treatment with nivolumab for patients with locally advanced unresectable disease who have progressed following platinum-based chemotherapy. The application was based on results from the open-label CheckMate 275 study, which is examining nivolumab in previously treated patients with MUC. Results of the trial, which has a primary endpoint of objective response rate, will be presented in October at the 2016 ESMO Annual Congress. The earlier CheckMate 032 trial showed that single-agent nivolumab had an ORR of nearly 25% in patients with advanced MUC. The validation confirms the completion of the submission process and officially starts the review by the Committee for Medicinal Products for Human Use and the subsequent final approval decision by the European Commission. That's all for today. Thank you for watching Enclave News Network. I'm Gina Columbus.